Alright y'all, how is it going? I of course am your host Bad Strains, and we are back with a very cool video today. I've recently been experimenting with just having my intro be at the start of the video at my desktop and then taking you down to the basement here. But I decided, you know what, let's start this at the basement. That, my friend, is because today we have a package. Now it looks a bit ripped up, and that's because, I mean, it is. I had to take off the top part because it like had my address on it and stuff. Besides that, got this imported from Japan. I'm not gonna say where I got it from because these proxy companies love to pay YouTubers to promote them. So if you're a proxy company and want to support the channel, be my guest. Until then, I got this package just from Japan, and I already opened it a little bit. So let's just get right into this. I apologize if I'm a little bit stuffed up. It's because, I mean, I'm a little bit sick, but we're still getting this out this week for you guys. Well, this weekend, I guess. Let's go ahead and open this bad boy up, center it, take out this right here. Here we have it. This, my friends, is the Thomas and Friends TOMY Plarail Encyclopedia. This, my friends, was, I'm pretty sure, a little promotional book for all of Plarail's engines. This was released back in, I believe, 1997 or 8. So there are only a few engines on here, but it's still really sick. So as you guys saw, the cover, we have Toby, we have James, we have Duck, we have the big Thomas, we have a giant layout in the back. On the back, here's a really cool image, honestly. It's like a nighttime scene, and Thomas is dreaming of a couple things. You can see there's Harold, there's Percy and Duck, there's Gordon, there's Henry, and there's Thomas and Bertie. It's like a little dream thing because he's shunting at night. There's some stars back here, as you can see. This nighttime scene sort of reminds me of the Magic Railroad poster. I'll put an image on that on screen right now. But yeah, this thing is super cool. I'll try and translate some of it more as we get into the book, but a lot of it is just a visual thing. So let's get straight into this. First up, we have this humongous layout of all of Plarail's stuff. We have Gordon, Diesel, James, Bulgy, Henry and James at the bottom here. We have Percy, Duck, Thomas, some troublesome trucks, Edward, Percy, no, that's not Percy, that's Henry, excuse me. Toby, that's just a caboose, another Bulgy, and I think that's everyone. This is a really cool and just colorful, bright layout. Sort of encapsulates all of what Plarail's about, really. On our next page, we have Thomas. Here we have Thomas, a back of Thomas, a little 3-pack of Thomas. Then we have Thomas in the yard. We have some troublesome trucks, Annie and Clarabelle, and then Thomas just going up a hill. This little Japanese description of Thomas says, Thomas is a popular and lively engine. It's in charge of the operation and does a great job. He pulls his customers Annie and Clarabelle along and runs together. So, I mean, these are all just Google Translate. I'll show you the picture right here. So they're definitely not going to be that accurate, but they're as good as we got, honestly. And yeah, just some random scenes of Thomas. There's the troublesome trucks that we're introduced to. There's Annie and Clarabelle. And then just a random scene of Thomas with some trucks. There's actually Toad in the back, which is kind of funny. Yeah, a really good descriptive page of Thomas. Let's go to the second one, which still is Thomas focused. Here's Thomas going down his branch line, I presume. There's Sir Topham Hatt. There's Thomas with a bunch of engines at the turntable. We have Thomas at the station. We have him just going across a bridge. And then here's James pushing Thomas. This top part, this title card actually says Sodor Island Railway. So this is kind of a description of what goes on there. This part, this description right here, says Thomas's Island of Sodor. It's a very peaceful island with a lot of fun things to do. And then Sir Topham Hatt's description right here reads, Sir Topham Hatt. He is the most important person on the Sodor Island Railway. He praises and scolds the trains. Pretty accurate stuff here. These are just a bunch of random scenes of Thomas showing what he does on the island. And let's go to the next page. So here we have Edward. What you'll notice from a lot of these 3-packs right here is that on most of the engines, these are actually like early concept arts of them, because if you look at Edward's face right here, this is the final one that we got. Then you look at this one right here, see if I can focus. That is definitely not the same face. It'll be more evident as we go along in the book, but you'll be able to tell that with some of these engines, they're wildly different in their final iterations as opposed to these ones right here. Here we have Edward, a little description of him. Here's Edward with duck. I don't know what that's referencing, but I do know that this is referencing Trust Thomas, where Edward pulls Thomas after he gets in his crash, and they talk about Bertie and his tar tankers, I believe. Hence why Bertie is right there. Edward's bio translates to, Edward is knowledgeable and very kind. It's a friendly train, he's good at handling cash, and everyone loves Edward. I assume cash translates to cars, something like that, but I assume it's just a mistranslation. Here's Edward with duck up here. I'm not entirely sure what this is referencing. I don't think the translation really tells us, but this one is absolutely Trust Thomas. A cool little Edward bio. Going on to the next one, we have Henry. Again, another early concept of Henry up here. As you can see, his face is, not really his face, but like his mouth is a lot like weirder in this top one. Can you guys tell? Maybe I'm just being crazy, but like his smile looks a lot wider in this top one than it does in this bottom one here. Either way though, here's Henry in his 3-pack. Here's his little bio. Here's Henry in Henry's forest. I'm almost certain of that. Here's Henry pushed up in his tunnel after he was shut up, obviously. And then here's a really interesting one. Here's what I believe is tender engines. Henry is pulling, what is that, 3 just random unmarked coaches? I don't think Plarail ever made just random unmarked coaches, so they had to have just made that specifically for this, which is pretty cool. But yeah, these translations right here are obviously just describing what's happening in all these scenes in Henry's forest, Henry in the tunnel, and tender engines. Henry's bio says, Henry's a proud engine with a green body. He hates having his body dirty and is known to be particular about cleanliness. I mean, it's true. I wouldn't necessarily put that with Henry as much as I put it with James, but I mean, they show it in Henry getting stuck in the tunnel that he doesn't want to get his new green paint dirty, which I assume is where they got that from the bio. But really cool incorporating all these different scenes of Henry and all the engines. On the next page, we have the number 4 engine, Gordon. For the concept art, I'm pretty sure it's just the same face. This face and this face are just the same, I'm pretty sure. Here's Gordon with his bio. Here's Gordon just at some stations, I believe. I don't think that's referencing anything. Here's Gordon going up Gordon's hill. I love this little motion blur here to show how fast he's going up his hill. And then here's Gordon pushing James. I can't exactly remember what episode that is from. I'm almost certain it happened. If you guys want to comment down below what Gordon pushing James here is referencing, please let me know, because I cannot for the life of me find it. Gordon's bio says, Gordon is a fast and strong engine. It is the largest of all and carries a lot of passengers. Gordon said it's an express train. So yeah, a bit of a weird translation, but definitely showing how Gordon loves his express, how he values it, and all the stuff like that. A pretty accurate description of Gordon. Moving on to our next page, we have the number 5 engine, James. Now this one is really noticeable. So as you can see on the final James, his nose looks a bit smaller and his mouth is quite open. This one, however, his pupils look, I think his pupils are a lot bigger. And he has a really big smile, and he kind of has a large nose. Maybe I'm just crazy, but that's what it looks like to me. Here's James with his bio. Here's James in, I assume, is Troublesome Trucks. The season 1 episode, I think. He's going down the hill with them. I assume that's what's happening at least. Here's James goes Buzz Buzz, of course, with his red nose. And then here, I'm almost certain, is from the last custom set that we did. This, of course, referencing the final scene where James pushes Toby to the station and the kids laugh at him in Time for Trouble. A lot of really cool references with James here. James's bio says, James is a very proud engine and stylish engine with a red body. Sometimes he gets into trouble with his mischief and sulkiness. I mean, it's true. I like how they incorporated the red nose for James and James goes Buzz Buzz, because even though Plarail didn't make Busy Bee James for many years after this, incorporating his red nose from the actual episode is a super nice touch. Next up, we have the number 6 engine, Percy. Here's another one with a lot of interesting concept art. If you see Percy here, we have his big pupils, his nose, everything like that. This one, to me at least, his face is like, well, not his face, his mouth is like really far down his face. Like here it's normal, and there's like this bit here between his mouth and the bottom of his face. But like here his mouth is at the very bottom of his face. I'm glad they didn't go with this one though. I really like the regular Percy. Here's Percy pulling his oil tanker, I assume is what that is, and then mail train. We have Percy and Harold with a really interesting early Harold concept. You'll see later in the book, but this is a very early Harold. And then we have Thomas and Percy at a station at nighttime, I presume. You can see the lights in the station, and you can see the sort of darker shadows on their bodies, which is kind of meant to represent that it's nighttime. I really do like these nighttime shots like they did here and then on the back of the book, of course. Percy's bio says, Percy is a train that has come to help busy Thomas and Edward. Edward taught him how to handle the car, and he works very well. A little homage to Percy's origin, but a really cool incorporation of all the stuff Percy's about. Him with Harold, and the mail train, I assume is what that's referencing. Next up we have the number 7 engine, Toby. Well, I don't think this early one is that different. I think he's just looking left. Now you can see here Toby's eyes are facing straight here, but then on here he's just looking left for whatever reason. Either way, here's Toby, here's him with Henrietta and a troublesome truck. Here's him in Toby's tightrope with what looks like just a bent straight piece. And then here's him with some troublesome trucks. It's kind of interesting how the trucks have these like white outline. I don't think that's present in any other picture or any troublesome truck really. It's still really interesting though. I'm not entirely sure what this is referencing here. There's a bunch of episodes where Toby pulls trucks, but this is of course Toby's tightrope. Toby's bio says, Toby is very good at handling stone cars. This is a rare locomotive that has a side door guard. I'll run with Henrietta. Hey, I'm just reading it out loud to you guys. Definitely a weird translation, but you do get the idea. He mentions about the quarry cars that he has with Mavis, of course. And yeah, it just really encapsulates Toby. It's kind of fun how they added Henrietta at the end here. Let's move on to number 8, Duck. We have the early concept of Duck that a lot of you guys have seen in a lot of Plarail advertising from this time. I think this Scruffy is an early design too. Let me focus on that. There you go. Look at that face. That is not the final face. Still really cool though. Here's his little bio. I assume this is him and Percy at the docks. Could be wrong though. And then here's him at what I'm almost certain is the all at sea scene, where he has to deliver the guy to Bertie from Harold. It's quite interesting how they use this version of Harold, but on Percy's page, let's go back, they have this really weird version of Harold, so whatever. Duck's bio reads as, Duck is a train from the Great British Railway. He waddles like a duck. He is skilled at handling the ship and has been entrusted with the operation of the line leading to the port. Interesting stuff there from Duck. I liked how they mention his branch line. And yeah, a really cool incorporation of the all at sea scene. I like how they have the golden part right here, as is in the final scene of the episode. That's so iconic. Move on to the number 9 engine, which unfortunately is not Donald, but Diesel. Here we have some really interesting stuff with Diesel. As of course, you can see his early face. It's pretty similar to this one, honestly, but he's just like looking left. It's the same with Toby, I'm pretty sure. Let's go back to Toby's page. Number 7. Here's Toby, he's just looking left, and then here's Diesel, he's just looking left. So that's interesting how they just decided to make him look straight instead of left. I mean, it makes sense. And I'm pretty sure this Sodor fuel truck is also early. I'll put an image of the regular fuel truck on the screen now. I'm pretty sure the letters are a bit smaller. Either way, here's Diesel, here's a little bio, of course. Here's, again, another custom set that we did. Here's Diesel does it again, where Diesel meets Duck and Percy at the harbor. Here's him crashing some trucks, and then here's Sir Topham Hatt, I'm assuming is sending him off. Now Diesel's bio is kind of funny. It says, Diesels are locomotives that run on fuel. He's a very troublesome train because he is a liar and a rambunctious person. The butterfly is called Fatty. I'm not kidding, guys. Let me show you guys right here. That is what it translates to. I tried it a couple times and I got the same result, so I'm not sure what they're trying to say here, but maybe something about the fat controller, but I don't know. I love how they just call him a liar in this bio, just straight up. And yeah, some really iconic scenes. Let's see what Sir Topham Hatt says here, because I'm not entirely sure. So this text bubble of Sir Topham Hatt is him saying, study how to handle your car. And then the bottom set part just says, the incident occurred in Diesel. I assume this is Sir Topham Hatt saying to Diesel, learn how to do freight cars, or shunt freight cars, and just sending them off. A nice little touch for the villain character. Next up, we have some of the road characters. Here's Bertie and Thomas. Here's the really weird looking early Harold. Here's Terrence, which I think is an early concept too. I don't know exactly what this is. And then here's Bulgy, which is kind of funny. These are just some descriptions of the side characters, of course. Going on to the next page, we have a little set actually. Here we see some custom sets. This says create your own Sodor. I think the sets get bigger as we progress, so we'll start with the small one here. It's just a tunnel, a station, Thomas. There's a couple of freight cars just in a little siding. Not even really siding, just another extension of the rail. And just a simple little oval. A pretty cool set. Moving on to the next one, we have a bit of a bigger one with Edward. He is the main character in this one. There's actually an elevated part over here, as you can see. Another siding with some trucks. And then a little turntable, which I don't think I've ever seen before. It's a cool little extension to have the turntable over there so you can store some engines. A pretty cool looking set. Moving on to the next one, we have this one with Bulgy. Sort of road and rail one. We have Thomas going up, and then I assume Bulgy would get stuck here. We have this little tunnel over here that Bulgy can ride up, and then we have Thomas can go under it actually. I like how they're incorporating Bulgy a lot here. I think he was sort of underused in the series. A pretty cool set. Next up, we have another road and rail one. We have Thomas and Bertie in what I'm pretty sure is their race. So Thomas and Bertie can go across around here. Thomas can go under the hill, and Bertie can go around and up again, kind of like the one with Bulgy. I don't think I've ever actually seen this piece right here, the sort of connecting road and rail side by side one. It's pretty cool though. And then we move on to this enormous page with a humongous layout. There's a huge layout of a bunch of different engines going all over the place. A lot of the images that we saw earlier are all featured here. So if you want to pause and look at them, they're all just sort of little bubbles around the page. Do you guys want me to recreate either this set or some of these sets over here? These, like this one or the ones before that? Let me know, because I'd be so down to recreate some of the Thomas book sets. I think that'd be a really fun video. And then a piece that I don't own is this giant Thomas. I've been in the market for one of these for a really long time. It's a really unique item. As you can see, you can kind of go through Thomas. You have the extending pieces. You have a bunch of double track pieces, which is super sick. And yeah, just having this Thomas that you were like meant to just have go through is super cool. I do want to get one of these someday. Definitely on my wish list. And then for the final page of the book, we have a little description of all of the engines. This is all the 3-packs that were on the previous pages. Just shows all the engines and in the order that they were shown in. Sir Topham Hatt's little text bubble up here says, they are friends of Plarail Thomas. You can play by reconnecting the customers and passengers. So just sort of an advertisement for all the engines, which makes sense. And yeah, that's really it for all the Plarail stuff. There is one more page back here that's advertising all of the first Thomases that they made back in the day. This is actually, I guess, where this Herald comes from, which is kind of interesting. Bunch of really cool looking engines. And then as we flip, we come to the back of the book. Overall, just a really cool item. Found this online when I was browsing around for other Plarail stuff, and I just thought it looked super interesting, so I had to grab one. Now, I've heard rumors that there are more of these editions. There's one from like 2005 with what I assume is a bunch more engines. So if you guys want me to do a video on that and get one of those books, let me know. But yeah, I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. I'm sorry my voice is a little bit messed up. I am quite ill right now, but we're getting over it. Subscribe to the channel. We've been gaining subs like crazy. We're at over 1,200 right now, which is just absolutely insane. And I can't thank you guys enough for that. Go ahead and follow my Instagram. We're trying to hit 300 followers. We recently just hit 200, which is pretty cool. And yeah, that's going to be all for today. I will catch all of you guys next time. Peace out.
She said it's 1:30 a.m. Tell me what you called for. I just need somebody real to tell me what it's all for. You know what you stand for, you know what you fall for. Said you don't believe in me, well that's your son called for.